So thanks so much for joining us. This is our MeWe Awakening panel on finding your light. We particularly chose to do this theme today, the day before solstice, the darkest day of the year, the darkest, longest night of the year. So we'll each talk about the theme, share about what that means for us. There are 6 practitioners here today. So we'll be sharing about ourselves and our work, particularly the work that we'll be sharing here today with you, and about all of our work too, so you get a sense of who we are. And then it's a panel event, so we'll be taking your questions. So we'll each go through and share a bit, maybe about 3 minutes each. And then, you're welcome to be here and listen and learn from everything that's asked and everything that's shared. And this is getting recorded and it'll be up on the web. So you keep that in mind. And then all of us offer specials as well. I'll be posting about that in the chat and some of us may mention them. And so we are available to do sessions outside of this, and we'll give you some specials, so some lower prices, smaller packages, and things like that. All right, great. Well, let's get started with our practitioner introductions. So I'm open. Whoever wants to go first, go ahead, and you've got about 3 minutes or so. Go ahead and share about particularly the work that you'll share here, and then all of your work as well, so people get a sense of who you are, and talk about the theme a little bit. It's great. All right, who wants to jump in and go first?
Here I go.
All right, it's you.
Hi, I'm Cindy McGonigal, and I'm a psychic medium, and I'm a palmist. So yes, I can actually read palms on the internet if you send me a couple photos of each of your palms in kind of a relaxed pose. I'm also an communicator, and I live in Indio, California, where I volunteer at a no-kill shelter. Today, I'm so grateful to be part of this wonderful panel that you see in front of you. We all come with our specialties. And as we focus on the light that's coming in, um, I look at, especially when I'm looking at a palm, my goal with you is always to be able to focus on what your soul wants you to bring through in this lifetime. So today, when you ask the panel a question, I'll be focusing on the light that's within you and how to best bring that out as I see it as a psychic medium. So again, we all have fun being on this panel, so don't hesitate to ask those questions. Take advantage of it. We're all here. We're forming a great community of light right now as we open our hearts to you and send that light and love out to all of you right now. And it's a joyous time. It really is. Some of you, if you're coming from the Southern Hemisphere, the light is not going to be the same as the light it is here, but in our hearts, that light is always bright. So thank you again. I'm Cindy McGonigal. I have a YouTube channel. Please subscribe. I focus on garden energies and earth energies and what's coming up. I love doing and helping people build sacred gardens and clear space. And I also love helping people create sacred grids for their homes and offices. Thank you again.
Thank you, Cindy. Great. All right, who else would like to share?
Hi, I'm Susie Parker Goins. I'm Blue Lightning Healing. I'm a channel, so your guides can manifest within my body so we can talk to each other. You get the voice changes or the physicality changes, and you can have a conversation with them, a one-on-one with your spirit guides to ask questions, get answers, get perspectives. They'll always give you a tool or some sort of technique that you can use so that you can use it without having me around. And so you can move forward on your path. I have a podcast called Blue Lightning Healing Meditations. And this Thursday, I have a meditation uploading on Monday, but Thursday is going to be like this variety show where I channel like 4 different guides so that you can get a feel for the different energies. Um, and and it allows you to recognize that you have that light within you. It's real easy to get caught up in the no, we're not worth it, blah, 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 and everybody just dumping on you. Well, this is a time where we have spent a whole year being in a cocoon, if you will, and we've all been shrouded in our own houses, and we have been doing work. Whether you think you have been doing inner work or not, I do believe you have. And what I feel this panel is going to help you recognize just what you've done, how far you've come, so that you can see where you've been, what you've gone through, and use that as a jumping off point to go beyond and get ready for the coming year. I like that Cindy was talking about the Southern Hemisphere, and it brings to mind to me that there's balance. So while we're going into that coming out of the dark time of the year, and then the other hemisphere is going into it and being in the light, it's just all about balance. So we're trying to help you identify what that balance is and how you can find it with more grace and ease and be totally in divine alignment, because that's where we're supposed to be. And it's not hard. Actually, it is fun to find it. You get to, when you have that moment of, oh, oh, that's what that was about. And it allows you, it gives you that permission to go ahead and move forward, to learn those lessons and enjoy it. Just, we don't have to be all, "Ugh." So let's have a good time. And I'm looking forward to it. And I'll talk to y'all later.
I'll
Thanks
go.
so much. Yeah, great. Go ahead, Lori.
I'm Lori Hewitt, and I do soul path readings. And what happens is your soul council shows up and talks with you directly about your soul path and why you chose to incarnate at this particular time in our history. And each soul has their own personal soul council that meets with them and knows them since the very beginning of their existence. And it helps you to remember why you're here and who you are as a divine being. Also, we'll focus on the light that you are, because as a divine being, we're all these incredible beings of light, and perhaps focus on how to bring that light more into this world and to shine it not only for yourself, but for others, and to connect with those guides and beings that are around you to help take care of you and protect you and guide you and help the light become stronger for all of us. I look forward to meeting with all of you. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Lori. All right, great. Who wants to go next? Got Galactic Ashley and Satora, I believe.
I will go for it. Hi, I'm Galactic Ashley. I channel divine guidance for star seeds, connecting them to their star families and galactic lineages. I use light language frequencies and work with your cosmic connections to facilitate high frequency healing transmissions and encoded activations. One of the things that I love to work with is light language. Har har. So this is one of our most powerful healing tools that we have. I don't even know where this is coming from. That wasn't in the plan. But that is one of our most powerful healing tools, and it is already embedded within us, within our cellular structure, and within the crystallinity that we are. So a lot of what I like to facilitate and love working with is our own crystalline being that we are, which is light, which is also crystallized. You can think about crystallized water for those of you that are in the winter, snow, and how light is constantly reflecting off of all of these things that are around us, similar to what Susie was saying earlier about the Christmas lights that are around us. And then also I second the balance, right? Because I used to live in Paraguay. Right now they're all sweating and it's really hot. And I'm not sad that I'm not there right now, but there is a natural balance in the world. And so I just like to remind people that it's much easier to find a spark in the dark. So when we are in darkness, to remember that we do have a spark and that there is always light. So I'm looking forward to everyone here, and it will be fun. I can tell already.
Great, thank you. All right, Satora, are you all set to jump in?
Hi, I'm Satora. I am with Well of Love. I'm an energy healer and a channel. I work with a group of beings that I called my beloved team. It's Ascended Masters and Angels. And we're all about helping you finding your alignment with your own true essence, your divine being. And through that alignment, your life experience and your reality changes. And you get to enjoy life more. And yeah, I kind of like this time of darkness because it's a great time to dream and sleep a lot. And I think it's wonderful if you can take advantage of that. And through that resting and relaxing into the darkness and allowing the dreams to flow and allowing ourselves to wander, that's how we also bring the light. That's how we connect with our light also in the darkness, by allowing ourselves to relax and dream and connect with the light inside, because on the outside there isn't so much. So yeah, I look forward to your questions and connecting with you.
Great. Thank you so much. All right. And I'm Lorelei Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader. I believe that our soul, our light, the light from the universe that comes uniquely through us, comes through our eyes. I read your eyes so that I can help you better understand your soul purpose, your journey here, where you are in your journey, and how to make great choices that help you express that in this life. I use a set of archetypes to describe what it is that I see. I call them thrive types, archetypes for thriving, so you can thrive on your path. And I'll be available to share a bit about your eyes and what does that mean in terms of your purpose and any questions you have. Examples of how I use this are helping people just better understand what their purpose is, see how they might already be expressing it, and maybe they can give it more conscious attention. How your career path, you might be able to align that more clearly with expressing your purpose. Looking at relationships that you're already in and how to have more alignment in those relationships. If you show me photos of people, it can be at work or personal relationships, romantic relationships, kids, parents. And then if you're single and you're interested in dating, I believe that our dating journey can help further our purpose. In particular, if we're dating someone who's more of a soulmate, someone who has a similar soul as us, maybe if we know our purpose, someone who also has a similar purpose, it helps us share more and more of our purpose and mature and grow in the kind of the subtlety with which we share it. So all kinds of different things I can help share about today. I also do, maybe I'll just call it emotional energy healing. It's I use body psychology coaching to, like I'm paying attention to subtle aspects of how you show up, your behavior, just subtle body movements, and all kinds of things give me glimpses about how congruent you're being in yourself as you express. And there are all kinds of tools with your body, how you can shift to open and allow more of your light through. So that's what I'll be sharing today, as well as helping run the event. And yeah, so exciting to be with you. So we're doing this is a MeWe Awakening panel called Finding Your Light. And so happy you're all here with us. We have many different events. We have fairs and panels, all with different kinds of themes. Just tell you a little of what's coming too before we dive into today. So today we have, well, today is this panel, and then coming right up, let me put it in the chat right now. So those of you that want to see it in writing, we've got, and I'll space that out a little bit for the next post. We have a crystal healing panel coming up on Saturday, December 26th. We have a fair with about 16 practitioners coming up on the 29th. We have energy forecast for the new year on January 2. It's a panel. Another panel on mediumship and connecting with lost loved ones coming up on Wednesday, January 6th. And another fair on Saturday, January 9. So all kinds of different things. Every time you want to connect, we have an event happening. So we look forward to being with you at those and today. So today is our focus. Today our focus is on finding your light. So we, the way this works is it's free to be here, to listen and learn and to absorb. It's a great opportunity to open to your intuition, because we answer questions from the audience. And as we answer, you might be able to discover what comes through you. Is it incongruent with what we share? It might be, and you might feel more confident in what's coming through you and how you're discerning what the messages are. And it could be you have something come through that's different, that's so valid and so relevant. And just an opportunity to check in on all that for yourself. So as we answer questions, and just keep in mind that this is recorded and it's going to be posted up online. So just be aware of what you're asking, that you feel comfortable having it shared publicly. If you want to work with any of us privately, that's why we have the event specialist for you. We'd love to work with you privately. And it's great to ask a question here of us and get a sense of what we're all like. It might give you more insight about working with us in the future, as we'll give you tons of insight today. So whatever you ask about, if we go deeper than you want us to go, or we start talking about something else that we think is related, but you don't want us talking about here, we're here to honor you. So please let us know. Unmute and tell us, wave your hands in the video, chat and let us know, and we'll pause and we'll redirect. Also, if you could please honor allowing the attention to stay up here on the panel today, that would be great for us. You have a few comments and things like that in the chat are fine, but just please honor and respect the space. And I'm gonna say, if something does come through for you that you want to, for someone else that asks a question, aside from just opening to your intuition and noticing like what comes through, you might want to write it down. And then at the end, if you want to, you could write that person privately in the chat and ask them if they want to hear what came through for you. And please honor whatever they share. They might be full after hearing from all of us, 6 of us, it can be a lot. So they might not want it, and just trust that it came through you for some reason. And I invite you all just to learn and glean from all that is shared today, all that is asked and shared. And it's just a great opportunity to be together and all of us holding space for each other as we grow. All right, let's see, and I'll put information about me in the chat too. And let's see, so in the way that you ask a question is, one, just let us know that you have a question, and then so you just pay on PayPal or Venmo. It's $20 to ask a question. Unless you're a BIPOC, then it's $10. It's doing our part for well, helping change racial injustice and making reparations. So yeah, so let us know if you want to ask a question. If you can't pay with PayPal or Venmo, just let me know and I can do something on Square, etc. So I'm going to go check. I have not checked PayPal yet to see if anyone is in line. And yeah, if you have a question, oh, right. Kimberly paid for a question. Right. I have not looked yet, but Kimberly, you go ahead and jump in and let's start with you. And then I will be checking everything else out. All
okay.
right.
Hi, everybody. Okay. So my question is, well, actually, I just want to know if I have any messages or any special spiritual advice for the upcoming new year. It could be related to anything, whatever you get.
And practitioners, feel free to just jump in. And as soon as I get a sense of how many questions we might have lined up, I'll let you know, but feel free to just answer spaciously right now. Yeah, thanks, Kimberly, for your question. Everyone's just checking in.
Hey, Kimberly. I'm seeing you've got guides behind you and they are supporting you, asking you to look at what your plan is for the year. So take the time to see what your ideal is, how you wish to manifest yourself ideally, and
Okay.
they will help you achieve that when you ask them, because, you know, it's all about consent. But there is one in particular. Who is this who wants to talk? Archangel Michael comes forward and he tells you that you are loved and you are protected and you do not need to weigh yourself down with guilt over things that were done or were not done or were not done to your satisfaction. Everything you do is in divine alignment and you are divine perfection. He really emphasizes that. You are
Okay.
divine perfection. And when you accept that, all of the stuff, the stuff that's hanging on to you, it feels like they're cobwebs and that sort of stuff
Okay.
you see in the spooky places, all that will just, you can just wipe that away and set your sights on your ideal self.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
Did I mute myself?
No, not yet. Go ahead. Whoever else wants to jump in.
Jump in. Okay, so Kimberly, I was looking at what animal wanted to speak with you, and lynx came up. Okay, so it's again
Okay.
on honoring your own personal style of power. Okay, so coming forward, I would also encourage you to work with the mineral kingdom a little bit more than you have, if you don't already. And the mineral that steps up for you is called kunzite. And kunzite is about, you know, love and attracting love and loving yourself and sharing your beautiful love. You have a huge heart, you know, and I've seen you before, and
Right.
I'm so glad you're here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. So the bigger question is, are you ready for more love in your life?
I am. I would
Good.
like
That's
some more love.
all you that's all you need to say is the yes.
Okay.
I am ready. Okay. And I want you to step into awareness. Okay. So when
Okay.
things come to you that you don't, that like are jarring or anything, I need you just to go, I'm aware of it, but I'm love. Okay. So just switch
Okay.
it up and let it go. And the more
Okay.
that you do this, the easier it gets to let go of
Okay.
anything that's kind of like, eh, eh, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that's what I see for you coming up. It's
Okay.
beautiful. Just love.
And the stone is called kunzite.
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 It's
Kunzite.
Kumizite, I think.
Okay. Okay.
Kunzite. It's pink.
Okay. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Hi, Kimberly. So your soul council has stepped forward and they're wanting more time with you. So meditation in the new year will be really important. And they'd like for
Okay.
you to meditate for sure once a day, maybe twice a day, if at all possible, and to call them
Okay.
in, to just ask for their guidance and they will step forward. They're also reminding you to trust what you get, to trust what you hear. You're incredibly intuitive. You do receive lots of messages. And like a lot of us, you tend to ignore them or push them
Okay.
aside. And in this coming year, you're going to be really kind of gently pushed by all of your guides, your counsel, everyone, to really trust that intuitive part of you and to follow it. You'll find that it keeps you more in the light, more in alignment, and more easily on the path that you've picked as a soul.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Yes.
Great. Who else wants to jump in?
I can say something.
Sure.
Kimberly, what I'm hearing for you is it's very important, or it's a reassurance for you that all is well and that there is absolutely nothing wrong with you, that you have never done anything wrong, and that in preparation for the solstice and the new year, you could have a ritual where you just surrender, and surrender meaning lay down at the feet of the divine mother, or whatever image appeals to you,
Okay.
resonate with you, just at an altar, just lay down all that burdens you, because you are carrying so much that is not yours to carry, that you you want to be of service, and there is a misunderstanding about what your service is, and you're burdening yourself unnecessarily, and that you
Okay.
can, from your inner being, experience so much more joy, and to make loving yourself and appreciating yourself a daily practice, a continuous practice throughout the day. Find things to appreciate about yourself, and there are many, even the littlest thing. And when negative and critical thoughts come up, you can surrender them. This inner altar, that divine being, the more you connect with that, the more you can connect with your own inner being, and the more you can appreciate and enjoy your life and yourself and being yourself. And from that, you come into a flow, and from that flow, also your actions will flow. And the main message is that service is no longer connected with sacrifice. You do not have to sacrifice yourself. Your true service is to love yourself and cherish yourself first, and take care of yourself and do good things for yourself. And from that, you will start to overflow and share with others, and that will inspire others, and that will inspire you into activities that
Okay.
are in alignment and fulfilling. So make yourself priority.
Thank you. Thank you for that message.
You're
Great. Yeah, I can see you at the front right now. So I'm like, I think everyone else went, right? I think so. Yeah.
I haven't gone, but I can.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, go
okay.
ahead.
So, I don't, well, it's not that I don't know anything about the angelic realm, but I'm definitely getting a hit on the angelic realm. Because I was like, galactic. It was like, no. It was like, angel, Susie. Not that I was doubting Susie, right? But I was like, what else is going on up there in the angelic realm? And I got one of the archangel sandal, is that how you say it?
Never
That
heard
was the
that
word.
one.
Okay,
Okay.
that was the one that I heard. But then they also brought me back down into this really high vibrational fey race. So not the little sprites that sort of go around, but they were showing me these like fire wings, kind of like butterfly wings, but a lot of fire. So you're carrying a lot of fire energy. They were talking about rhythm, so it's like they have these like staffs that they were like, and there's just a lot of fire and fire dancing, so they were just talking about movement, so finding your sort of alignment and your groove within yourself. And
Okay.
to celebrate, like I feel like you rocked it this year, even though it might not have felt like it, like you did awesome this year. And to take the time to celebrate what you've done, like to give yourself a little bit of space today, tomorrow, to be like, I'm going to celebrate that I did really well. So I don't know what you do for whatever we do during the day. Um,
Okay.
um, but it feels like you're a care, like you do a lot of caregiving. So I don't know if that's your profession, or if you're taking, or if you're giving care to somebody right now. But caregiving is what came up, and that you're also carrying a ton of just solar light energy. And I also want to second what Cindy said about the pink kunzite. And then
Okay.
after that stone, because I feels like blue, like the vibration of blue wants to start entering, which makes me think of your voice is going to want to start to come online in sort of,
Okay.
several months, maybe after the first of the year. So you're being asked to stand in the light and to accept that you're standing in the light, which is really hard to
Okay.
do because it's like, spotlight. But so there's going to be something that's coming up where you're going to be like maybe more out in the forefront and just like own the light. So I don't know. I don't do astrology, but it's like Leo keeps
Okay.
showing up in my mind. And Leo loves the spotlight. So whether you have Leo or not, it's like harness your inner lion being and sort of own the light. And another stone to work with after you've moved through the kunzite would be Larimar, because it will help you feel comfortable with fire energy. Like I feel like you've
Okay.
totally, like you are awesome in your lower chakras. You're like, yes, I am here. And now it's like you're like doing this expansion out. So
Okay.
working with Larimar brings in this water energy, which will balance with this fire energy, which will sort of
Okay.
allow you to comfortably reach out and to connect with these pretty high vibrational angelic realms that want to work with you.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
Okay, great. Yeah, so some of my shares is a little bit aligned with where Galactic Ashley was going. So I too had the sense that you're doing caring for other people in a way that for me, it's more of your history and more of like an expectation that others had of you and an expectation you had of yourself. And to me,
Right.
you seem like you're much more about play and fun and connecting the community together. And so, as you're asking this question and it's coming up so much, it just feels like now is the time. So maybe you've already started to do this, and now is the time to say no to some places where you're caring for that you don't want to, where it
Right.
ends up being caretaking, where you're giving so much energy away, and saying yes to places of having fun and playing. And I know we're not out in public with each other right now, right? We're not in groups, even privately, but there are other ways to connect and play with people. And
Right.
so you probably have some gifts of like language and writing and videos and just lots of ways that you can be out there creating fun
Okay.
experiences for people. Does this make sense? What I'm
A little bit. I mean, the caregiving part for sure. Like I've given myself a lot to helping others and care for them, and I feel like I need to like release some of that. Like I feel a little drained, so I need to like start, like they're saying, for me to like love myself more and don't feel bad about it, and just kind of like do my thing, do whatever I'm meant to do in the upcoming year.
Yeah.
So yeah, um that kind of thing. As far as like the other stuff, like what you're talking about, the other part that you're talking about,
I'm
was
talking
that
about
work
group,
related or was
doing
that?
something with groups of people and play with groups of people.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what that would be, but maybe something's coming up or something,
Yeah.
or
When
I don't
you're
know if you
part,
mean like going out or just talking to people or.
well, when you're part of a community, it might be just a social community or like some
Oh, okay.
community of peers. Um, what role do you typically play with them? How do you show up
Um,
in the group?
well, I mean, are you talking work or at home? Because really at home there's nothing going on. I mean, at work it's like there's not a lot of people, but I try to socialize when I can in between work. I'm kind of like, I can't really get out and go socialize, so I socialize with people as they pass by or something like that.
Right, I
If
get
that's
that,
what
but
you're
even
talking
even a
about.
group at work, even a group at work. So what is if a group that you're part of, how do you typically interact with people? What happens? How do people see you?
Um, I mean, I'm approachable. Like they talk to me and stuff. It's like we're a little family at work, so whoever comes up to me, we just talk and interact and stuff like that. So I mean, I'm good with the people that I usually am around for the most part, I think.
And if the group hasn't gotten together for a while, or it's a little awkward when the group is together, what do you typically do?
Um, I don't know. I haven't had too much awkwardness lately, so I don't can't really say about that. I just try to be myself, unless I'm in up here, I try to be I'm more an outgoing social person by nature, so I try to be that if depending on my mood.
And that's really what I'm getting to is that you are outgoing and social and you keep the group flowing and you notice if it's not and you do something that has it moving again. And it's so natural for you that it sounds like you're not even noticing that you're doing it, which is common often.
Right.
The thing that we do naturally is
Yeah.
easy for us. And so to me, that's what I'm seeing is a bit of a shift that's being
Okay.
asked of less focus on one person and more conscious focus on the group, awareness of
Okay.
the group. When you are in a group, you naturally create the flow and movement. So what
Okay.
I'm people in. So what I'll just, let's see. I'll share my screen super briefly. And if anyone else wants to share a screen, I can open it up so you can share a screen too. So these are
Okay.
some of the traits that I read in people's eyes. These are 7 talents.
Oh, okay.
And what I see
Okay.
is that you've
I can't.
overemphasized this one that's called server. It's about love and intimacy and deep connection. And people that have it can get lost in caretaking rather than caring.
Right.
And I think even more than that, you have this talent that's called sage. It's about community, communication, playfulness, and fun. This is the one that's extroverted and social and easily, it's the lubrication that has a grouping and flow. Their gift is
Right.
communication. What's wanted from the group often just flows through them, out of their mouth. They don't have to, it just happens.
Yeah, I say stuff and I don't really think about some of the stuff I say. It just comes out.
Right. And
If it's like sarcastic, funny, or funny, it'll just right out of my mouth.
yeah, so for me, there's something conscious that like next year you have an opportunity to choose to participate in some groups outside of work. Like there may be ways
Okay.
at work that you show up in a more powerful way by consciously doing some things with
Okay.
groups. You're like letting yourself lean into some leadership in a way that you haven't, for example. And then
Okay.
socially, in your personal life, you have great gifts
Right.
with groups of people.
Okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I hope the new year will bring more socialization and getting out to do a little bit more. So we'll see how that plays out.
And that's why I mentioned things like online or just there are other ways of connecting.
Okay. Oh,
So
yeah. Yeah.
and,
Okay.
yeah, great.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Practitioners, anything else that you want to share? I know sometimes when we each share, like new things kind of come up. Great.
Yeah, I wanted to add something because did I just interrupt somebody? No.
Go ahead. Good.
I just want to add something because I had to look up Sandalphone. I'm real rusty on my angels. Bad Catholic school girl. um, so Sandalphone is the archangel that is associated with the color red, which is awesome because even you're like, oh, there's so much color in what you're wearing right now too, and it's that fire energy that you're bringing. It's probably why the Syrians were telling me Sandalphone, Sandalphone,
Okay.
and that's connected to music and communication. But what I just remembered is that it's like brother to Metatron. And so Metatron I feel like those two energies will be really good for you to work with a little bit later. So I feel like Sandalphone is bringing you into next year. And then Metatron will start coming in with these sort of violet flame and blue energies for next year.
Okay.
And then communication and music and sort of just again being with that flowing energy, which is basically what Lorelai also said with the communication in the sage. So I think that's really awesome.
Okay. What was that stone again you mentioned earlier? The L with the L.
Larimar. I know that.
Oh, Larimar. Okay.
Okay.
Could you just like message that to me so I know the spelling on it, like privately?
Yes. And
Okay. Thank you.
I will put in what Cindy said too.
Okay. Great. Thank you. That way I can. I know that we have a place not too far from here. See if they carry it.
Great. Thank you so much. And I have something.
Thank you, everybody.
And I'll message you something in the chat too. Just know that that's coming. And
Okay.
Oh, Tora,
Okay.
sorry if you wanted to speak. Sorry if you could just unmute. We're getting some static, but go ahead, unmute if you wanted to share something else.
Yeah, I just want to emphasize again the part about sacrificing yourself, and with what Lorelai said, I think it may come so natural for you to put yourself on the back burner and others first.
Right.
Satora, sorry, Satora, do you have earphones or something? We're just getting a lot of static and it's hard to hear you. Okay, there. Unplug and plug it back in or something. We can't hear you at all now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, great. Okay, please say it all over again. We couldn't hear you.
Okay. So I want to emphasize again the part about not sacrificing yourself and putting yourself first and your self-care first. Because the sacrificing yourself and putting your own needs on the back burner and taking care of others may come so natural for you that you don't notice. And yeah, so that is a continuous practice of.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to kind of release some of that and just do my thing.
And it goes in many, many baby steps. So it's a continuous thing to remind you.
Sorry, we're having trouble hearing you again.
Okay. Yeah, maybe she could type that other part in or something.
Okay, I took my headphones out.
Yeah, that's better.
Oh, now you're better.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to re-emphasize that part because it's very important.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support, everybody.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for letting us answer. All right, great. Let's see. So we've got, so Mary is next. So Mary, if you want to jump in.
Hi, everybody. I'm so grateful that I was able to make it on here. I was running around doing stuff, and then I started on the phone, and now I'm sitting here with my cat in my lap. So I'm thankful to be here. And what I've heard already, this has been just such a humongous growth year for me. Like I feel like I don't even recognize myself in a lot of ways, in good ways. And I'm like, I didn't know something like this types of shifting is possible. So what finally came up as far as maybe what I wanted to ask is, you know, a big issue, the big sticking point for me, and is personal relationships, let's say with the opposite sex. And I know why. I mean, I'm adult child of alcoholic, I'm in recovery, I've got all these things that I've been working on and healing. But I'm finding myself with my current kind of partner, I'm just always go straight to fear, straight to reacting. And there's that. So I just wanted to put that out there, and but also say I'm just open to anything. And if anybody from up here comes through, I'm open to that too. So thank you. I hope that made sense.
That did, yeah. Thanks so much for your question.
Right. Thank you. And if you need me to turn a light on to see my eyes when we share, let me know. I just have it dim in here.
No, it's great. Yeah, I think I can see you, and I'll let other people go first too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Mary, this is Lori, and your soul council has shown up, and they're reminding you that this is very much a part of your soul path, and that much of the work you've been doing and the relationships you've been having are karmic in nature. And to hold in mind in your consciousness that your soul decided this lifetime to bring as much karmic debris, if you will, with you this lifetime so that you would have the opportunity to clear it. So now the recovery you're in and the process, you know, the progress you're making is helping to clear that, and learning to set those boundaries is helping to clear those karmic cellular memory that you are bringing with you. So it's easy to sometimes as a human to get discouraged about this and about relationships. Try to understand it in the larger soul picture, that you've come with this on purpose. And as you connect more with yourself as a divine being, the more you can put it in perspective and allow yourself to be clear about discernment with relationships, and to ask for guidance when it comes to interactions with others, especially in romantic relationships or close, intimate relationships. But know that you're on the path that you've chosen, and that you're very much doing the work that you came to do. If you're not meditating on a regular basis, they're really encouraging you to really begin a meditation practice and call in your guides, call in the angels, call in your soul council to come in and sit with you and help to support you, but also give you that guidance every day about what's the next step for you, and to practice sitting silently to listen to that what's been called a still small voice, or a knowing, a sense that is the guidance that's coming for you. They're also saying to really pay attention to your dreams, because a lot of shifts are happening and a lot of information is being transmitted during that sleep time for the human. The soul is getting this information and bringing it back. So try to keep a quick note, just pay attention to the dreams. Is that clear? Do you need have any other questions?
No, that's absolutely. When I was 27, I got a message saying that I was the chosen one to undo my mom's suicide when I was 4, and my dad's disease, alcoholism. I'm like, oh, great. So that makes complete sense. As much as my ego wants to find, the white picket fence, I know I'm on the path. And my dreams, again, they're not vivid, but I wake up with head pain, and I connect that I know that there's something going on while I'm sleeping. And so I'm open to making more of a connection so I don't wake up with headaches.
Before you
it made all sense.
Before you go to sleep at night, just ask that when you wake up, that you have some clarity, and that you want to remember the information that you're bringing back with you from the dreams.
Perfect.
Thank you
so much.
Hey, Mary, I'm Susie. I want to build on what Lori said. She talked about karma. So there's a whole lot of past life stuff that's coming through. You picked some, yeah, there are a lot of painful past lives that are being resolved with this. So carrying the burden of your parents, you know, it's the sins of the father, that sort of thing. You are changing the end of the story. I had a medical experience where I knew I had to change the end of the story. And so I set that intention through the whole process. And that's what you're doing. You are having that impact not only on yourself, but your future and also your ancestors. So you are this linchpin here where you are doing it. You have signed on to do some really big work. So I'd like you to understand that yes, it's going to be that mountain you're climbing up. But then once you get over that, when you get to the peak, you're going to see the impact, not only karmically, but and on everything. You're going to be affecting the vibration of everything and everyone around you as you're doing this. Lori also talked about discernment. So when you feel this fear, ask whose fear it is. I don't think it's necessarily all yours. I think there's ancestral fear there that you are working through. It feels to me your liver and your kidneys are holding on to some energy there. That the liver generally holds on to anger, but I feel that it's kidneys, the fear in both organs. So being able to tap into it, ask your body, what is this about? Is this mine? And then breathe into it to release. If you want to go, a lot of folks want to let go and find all of the itty bitty things about it. Sometimes just saying, I release you. I'm done with this fear. And then you can move forward. And then another thing you can do, Lori was talking about how you can set that intention when you go to sleep. So in the morning, I do this when I'm still barely awake and I'll make a statement. Any agreement I may have made in dream time that is not in divine alignment is null and void. So, because it's real easy to want to go, yeah, sure, I'll do that. Sure, I'll do that. And you're in dream time. So you don't think because you're on the spiritual, you're on the astral realm that it's going to have an impact. Well, it does. And I think that will help with your headaches also because you've got a whole lot crammed in there. So this is allowing yourself to process this karma that you're supposed to, but also there's stuff out there it's not yours to process. So you're releasing all of that too. And that's going to help you maintain that balance, not only to find your own light, but to give other people's lights or their their energy back to them. You're taking on a whole lot. So now it's time to say, thank you. I'll take my energy back. You can have your energy. It's all good. That makes sense?
That makes perfect sense. I think when I
Okay.
shared when I first got on here, like that I'm feeling more like myself and I haven't known that who that was. And I think it's because of what you just said, that there's stuff coming off of me. And so I've always been myself, but I've been covered with layers of stuff. So
Yeah.
if that, it totally makes sense, because I'm like, whoa, here
Yeah.
I am, I'm me finally. I
You can
made it to
Marie Kondo that stuff away. Yeah, just
yeah,
declutter. Yeah, well
just keep.
done.
So yeah, thank you.
Well done.
Completely.
Good.
I have
Right, yeah, several of you are in town. Yes. Oh, or several of you are in line. So just after Susie, it's Satora and then Galactic Ashley.
Hi, Mary. Thanks for asking a question. A few suggestions about how to help you create relationships that are more in alignment and more supportive and loving. First, you can be for yourself your own perfect partner. You can actually practice that by doing things for yourself that you would like a partner to do, and do loving things for yourself. Take yourself on a date. I don't know, have breakfast. Be to yourself your own best friend and your own loving partner, and treat yourself the way you would love to be treated on every level. And that includes also the thinking, saying nice things to yourself, calling yourself sweetheart, I love you, give yourself hugs. Oh, here's a great thing, self-love points. I also do Jin Terra, which is touching certain points that connect with the meridians in the body.
And the self-love point is right here under the arm, on the outside of the armpit. And you can just give yourself a hug and hold both those points. So that is a great way to activate that energetically and cellularly in the body. And you can do that as often and as long as you wish. And then the other thing is, if you have connection with, however you call it, your soul council, angels, ascended masters. So what I experienced once was they suggested to us that we could pick one and marry them. And at that time, I was married to an actual physical man, but you can have a relationship with a divine being, an angel or an ascended master. I was married to Saint Germain. I think I still am. And they will help you, guide you in the relationship. If you listen, he started talking to me and gave me tips because my marriage was falling apart, and they helped me come to a point where I could complete whatever the pattern was and then just say to him, okay, we're not compatible, we just have different lives. And I never had to experience or repeat that kind of pattern again. So even if you can't hear or see, you can pray and maybe choose a being, if you wish, that you would like to have a partnership with. And it's in no competition to any partnership to persons. It's just there to help you solve that issue more closer. And they can also be that ideal partner for you, because that is true, total, unconditional love. And that is total, unconditional guidance. That is just really only there for your own alignment. So if that's something that you like to do, you can just ask for that and find out for yourself who it doesn't even have to be a male figure. I mean, whoever appeals to you. Because that relationship is not, it's not based on opposites like a lot of attraction based relationships are. So, whichever being appeals to you.
That sounds amazing. And what came to me was that growing up the way that I did, I was highly self-sufficient, and there's a difference between self-loving and self-sufficient. And so making the shift, my partner now, it lives out of state, and we had broken it off. So I had this opportunity to do this self-loving healing, and he's coming next week. And I was like, oh, I have someone to do stuff with. And so I'm just loving to hear that I want to keep myself in check, that I enjoy my own company. I enjoy the life I have. I'm not trying to earn love anymore, because I have it and I am it. And so this would probably be a perfect time to, ask for somebody else, a spirit, to be the unconditional love. So thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
Great. And at least I think a couple of us still to respond. I think Galactic Ashley and me. Galactic Ashley, are you ready?
I'm ready. The longer I wait, the longer my notes get. So it's better I just go. So a few things, and this is going to be sort of tailing off of what Susie was talking about. With the suicide energy, the fact that do you know if there was suicide in your family line before your mother?
I believe there was a male far down, and she was almost 24 and left a note, so I had a really deep,
Right.
connection with it.
I just want to honor how awesome it is that you are aware of what you're doing and the ancestral healing part of everything, because you are healing, like what Susie said, the past and the future at the same time. What I'm getting that might be beneficial, or that would be beneficial for you, is if you put a little altar, especially now with this time, just super simple candle or something a crystal and like a note, or maybe a picture of your mom or something, but just to have honorable closure and to just write down specifically the intention that you are forgiving yourself and forgiving her, because it feels like there's still some forgiveness that needs to be done. And then to write down, you can even burn it and do a little private ceremony for yourself, that you are clearing and healing your family line through all space and time, and that you are honored to be here, and that this is also free from you, right? Because just when we heal these things, it gets to be released from our physical body, which means we get to let it go. So when you see the smoke burning, that is the fire combusting, and that we're letting that part, like the density, right? Because smoke is dense and darker. So we're letting the density go when we burn things. So I feel like that would be really important and beneficial for you. And the idea about relationships, actually, the thing that I got was not necessarily to look at partnerships and relationships, but to also remember that the way that we frequently see relationships with other people relates to how we have a relationship with money. And so rather than focusing on the partnership in that way, you could play with the idea of how you have a relationship with money. So there's a book called Money Drunk, Money Love, which actually specifically looks at, it makes a connection about children of alcoholics and how they tend to view money. So it's another way to look at a relationship. I've found over time that oftentimes when our ability to not be in codependent relationships, or when we heal from narcissistic abuse or alcoholism in our family, that our relationship with money tends to improve. So rather than overly focusing on how your body is reacting to a relationship, to try it with money, because it's just a little bit different. So you can love money, you can practice sort of sending love to that, and receiving in sort of an abundant form or fashion. So when we react, it's just our body doing what it's known how to do, which is to take action in the moment because it feels like it has to do something. So that's just within our cellular like memory. So the more that we respond differently, the more we are able to retrain our body, and that just takes time and awareness. And it sounds like that's what you're doing, and that you're doing a fabulous job of it. And to remember that when we have traumatic childhoods or experience trauma, what's happening within our subconscious is that we are having set points. So whenever the traumatic event happened to you, if you learned about what relationship means, it means that you will carry forward relationship to money, relationship to your body, relationship to everything around you, and sort of see it in that way. So to just be open to your growth and just start to respond differently, and give your body is catching up with you, and the adrenal system and the central nervous system and everything is also getting rewired. And so I'm feeling that actually when you're sleeping at night, your mind is sort of it's rewiring itself so that it does and can respond differently. So you can also include that intention as well. And congratulations, because none of this is easy and you've done a lot. So
True.
Wow. Thank you. Last year, I hit at the financial bottom finally, and I gave it up to my higher power and said, you take it. And since then, there's been so much healing around my finances and money, and even learning that money doesn't buy happiness, because I have more of it now than I've ever had in my life. And so I'm like, okay, that's not the relationship. So thank you for that, and for all of it. And tomorrow is the solstice, and I believe that the planets are aligning. And I looked, and the last time it happened, it was on my birthday, like 800 years ago. So I think tomorrow will be a good day to do some burning. So
Susie, did you want to say anything about that? I know Susie's got a lot of energy about what you're sharing.
Oh,
no, actually, I was sending energy. I had my little, my little cup of energy, and I was thinking that just as my hand went up, it's like, she's going to call on me. So there's my story.
It's great. It's great. And I'm sorry, Mary, I was, I'm going to pin yours so I can see you. Yeah, I was doing some other things back here behind the scenes with people while people were sharing, so I didn't hear everything. But do you have I know, so you said a relationship recently ended, that he's coming to visit, right? Do you, is there any photo that you can show me of him? Like if you feel comfortable having it on the screen, or you can text me a photo? You could just do a
Yeah, I can
screenshot.
see. Yeah, I
Or hold it
can.
up. You can hold it up to the screen if you, yeah.
Yeah, let me see if I can. I'm usually pretty good at. There's probably. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want to see his eyes, so just something without sunglasses and yeah. And I've heard bits of all the different caring things that people have shared, and I love what they've shared so far. So
I'm just so thankful. Okay, let's see.
This sounds like you've done really wonderful work over the last year.
It's been like amazing. Okay, let's see if I can. I'm new at this.
Yeah, so just tip the angle a bit so I can tip the angle and I pull it. Okay, sure. Go ahead, pull it away. You can take it away. I got
okay.
it. So I don't know what the relationship was like with him, but the big thing I noticed is that you feel, well, you had a parent that was really judgmental, right? Really intense and judgmental.
I had a parent that was not available. And so he's been this guy has been the perfect teacher. So it fit for so long, his unavailability. And so.
But did you have a parent also that was judgmental and intense? You only had one parent there, or you had two? Or many?
There was a lot of people. I did have an abusive stepmom when I was 10 that was physically and verbally abusive. I mean, she'd pull me around by my hair and
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of different people.
Yeah, a lot of things. So part of what so it's because I'm picking up like some old things and I'm picking up you. So that's what so one of the traits that you have in your eyes, so two things. One is called priest or priestess. It's about inspiration, vision, passion, motivation, feels emotionally very deeply, often very empathic. So picks up a lot of what's happening all around. So I think you feel the field in a really big way. You had a parent that had, or, one of the people that was around that was parenting, had this around, they had this also, but they were using it in a very unhealthy way that's very judgmental and intense and very sharp. And and some of the trauma just had you doubt some of this in you. I think you're so sensitive and you had to be so strong to get through things that in some ways, like it dulled you to the sensitivity, like you're relearning to listen to yourself again. And then another is called artisan. It's about freedom, creativity, pleasure, and energy. So priest and artisan, they're some of the most sensitive people, the most intuitive. And this man in particular, like, doesn't honor any of that at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's better to be with people that are similar. So definitely like so energetically care for yourself since he's visiting.
That's why I hopped on here too.
Yeah. Are you sure that he's definitely visiting? Or you definitely want him to visit?
I keep thinking, I can handle it, but there's been this huge part of me that's just like, if I'm circling around it another time, so I mean, I know, or else I probably wouldn't have brought it up, that I wanted to get the, the spiritual feedback that I know, because
so did anyone else address the possibility of canceling or changing the visit in some way? Yeah. So when is the plan that he's
Tuesday.
And is it something that you think could change, like just logistically for him?
Yeah.
Is it changeable?
Yeah, it's changeable.
Yeah. So just like what you felt just the way you were responding, even, it sounds like you have a big question about him coming. And my sense is it's like stepping into conflict sometimes has been really hard for you. And so like setting boundaries has been hard. And like, if you feel like it's not good for you for him to come, I encourage you to honor that for yourself and change things up. And he just doesn't seem like an energy that is supportive of you and your energy and where you're heading. So if he comes, it just to be so caring and honoring of yourself. And if there's a part of you that feels able to change it, if you're wanting to change it, I so encourage you to honor that and to change it. It looks like Susie. Yeah, some other people have something to share. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is me really waving my hand, raising my hand. Okay. Mary, set the boundary. if your intuition is, I'm seeing all these red flags just going, no, 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 please honor your own boundaries. This is part of your
Yeah.
growth. Okay. Because you're the
Yes.
only one that you need to answer to. You don't have to answer to anyone else. I'm going to get the girlfriend head waggle in
Yeah.
here too. Okay. So, okay, there, I'm done.
I just want to point out two things that you said. One, you said, I think I can handle it. That's something I say when my parents visit because I have contracts and things I'm still learning with them. And that's okay. I love them, right? That's a completely different type of thing that's happening. And the other thing that you said is, and so this is what you might want to discern is you were excited that he's visiting because we've been in isolation. So what you're seeking is to visit and have contact, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the best thing for you to do right now. And I honor and recognize that, right? Because my best friend is a dog and a possum right now in the backyard. So I totally get the isolation thing, and I'm an extrovert. Um, so just like be aware of those things. But I do feel that this is an opportunity where you can completely claim your sovereignty, which I define as claiming that you are self-mastered and that you are divine and you are sovereign and you are free, and free is to live free from the influence of others. So yeah, it would be conflict, but if you go into it, you might feel worse after he visits, or you're handling it and then you might need to recover or rest a lot longer after. So it's for you to decide, but it could be a really empowering point that you're coming in. And sometimes when I'm having those conversations over the phone, I might write, this is the only time I ever write down anything before I talk, are like key phrases that you might have to repeat several times in a calm voice over and over again. And especially if they're going to be slightly volatile back, or they're going to say why, and remember, we don't have to explain ourselves, even though it feels like we do, because we've been made to explain ourselves our entire life, and then our explanation was never good enough anyway. So you can just say, because it doesn't work for me right now, because it doesn't work for me right now, this doesn't work for me right now, and just like calm voice, repeat it and what you've written.
And when I was there in March on my birthday last year, he ended it because there was some discrepancies. And so then now he's coming back around. And so my ego, I think it was the immense rejection that I felt. So I'm just telling on myself so that I get more clarity that this some weird redemption that I think that I want or that I need. I know that I know that it's not, I'll be okay. I'll survive, but there'll be aftermath if he does come. At least it's on my turf. And so this is it. I really feel like either this is going to be the last because of how I've changed, or if I do cancel, which is what we do all the time anyways, book, cancel. So I'm beyond grateful. I can't even put into words, you guys, today. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting us share. And
Yeah.
I love how we all work together with each other. It's great. Thanks, Mary. All right. Let's see. So next we've got Janice. Janice, are you ready to ask a question? Let's see, where are you? Oh, you're muted, Janice. Okay, great. Oh, you're muted again. Unmute. Okay, we should be able to hear you now.
Okay. Glad I wrote it down.
Sure.
So I can talk to animals and do the occasional reading for people, but I have never, ever heard from a guide or angel. And I'd like to know from my channeling friends, why? And who are they and why don't I hear them? I'll hear the little voices of the animals, but
I'm definitely jumping in. Who says those animals are not your guides?
that sounds like my voice in my head. I mean,
Okay, so that's when the discernment comes in. Who's talking to me? Because what my guides are telling me, have told me, is that when you listen to your intuition, to your higher self, or to your guides, they are uplifting, they support you, they give you a different perspective. If you're listening to, say, another person or your own ego, a lot of times it's denigrating and it's pulling you down. It feels heavier. So this is your opportunity to learn to discern the different energies there, and trust what you're hearing. Because I spent a whole lot of times when I started talking to my guides, I spent so much time saying, I'm hearing something, and I'll go, really? Are you sure about that? And then I could just see my guides all going, oh God, just listen, please, just listen. And it takes a little practice, but trust yourself. You have got some amazing gifts that are really working to get out, but you got your head in the way going, no, 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 no. So yes, trust what you hear. Talk to the animals. I wish I could. You know, I'd love to talk to my dog to tell him to quit things, but so that's my ego getting in the way, because we can all do these things. So open up, take that time, be in a quiet space and say, okay, let me hear what you all have to say, and be grateful.
Well, I
You can,
always say, address everything to my guides and angels,
okay.
but never, never hear anything.
Yeah, there, look for different ways to get their message. If you feel you need to, like, look at the clouds or look in water. I mean, maybe you're not clairaudience, maybe you're clairvoyant and can see, or clairsentient and just know.
Well, see, that's the one, and people I've read for, and it's like I don't know why I know, and I'll hear that everything was right or 90%, and
So let your confidence build. There is no shame in having confidence in your ability. I'm sure each one of us who are on the panel have gone through those question moments. You know, it's like, are you really? Am I crazy? Am I what? So you're at that place. It's okay. Accept it and trust. And unless something is telling you to sign off your assets to them, you're good. You know, don't go with that.
I'm not
okay.
going yet, but I just have to say that I've known Janice for a long time, and she's an incredible animal communicator and medium and knower of things. So I just have to re-represent her misrepresentation of herself before we go any further. Okay.
The
That's great.
galactic
Right?
disclaimer.
That's great. Reclaimer. That was a reclaimer. All right. Um, who else wants to go?
I can go.
Great.
So
Great.
your soul council is basically calling you out like Ashley did. It's like, yes, you brought all of this ability with you in this lifetime because you've carried it through from many past lives. So it's who you are. And I think, like Susie was saying, it takes practice. All of us have had to discern and kind of figure out who's saying it. Is my mind? Is it something else? And your counsel is basically saying to you, you know the truth. And when you get those messages, you simply discount them. And they're saying the time for that is over. It's really important for you to bring those gifts forward now and to share those with others, that it's part of your path now. And coming into this new year, they're going to really be pushing you to offer this and to be available and to really step into this ability that you have. Does that all make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
And I think sometimes it's harder when you feel it and you know it, as opposed to hearing somebody talk to you or getting a vision of something.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm hearing is the more you work with this, the more these other pieces will fall into place. And you may find that your abilities expand and you will hear things more clearly, or you'll see them in a different way, or you'll start seeing the connections between coincidences that pop up that you can share with others. So it's really opening yourself up to all the ways that we're communicated with spirit. And your guides do talk to you all the time. You just sometimes won't pay attention. and they're wanting you to pay more attention more often. They surround you completely and they're just chatting away all the time.
Okay, so
Okay.
so how do I tap into that and know that that's what I'm tapping into?
So you ask them to step forward, and then you pay attention to what comes through. And you pay attention to that gut feeling or that knowing and trust that it's coming from your guide.
Okay, because
They're
part of what
saying that,
scares me is part of what scares me or concerns me is that will I be giving up the way I talk to the animals if I shift?
no, it'll
Okay,
probably
everybody's going,
get
nope,
better.
nope, yes, silly fool.
It'll probably get better, actually.
Okay.
Okay. All
All
right.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Right,
I want to
So,
add
just
something.
sorry, Cindy, you can ask
Mhm.
a question, but Satora's next in line. Go ahead. Oh, okay, so Satora, go ahead.
Yeah, so what I'm getting is the question to ask, why can't I hear this, or why can't I hear it? It doesn't serve you to ask a question like that. It's just making it harder for you. The question to ask is, what are my gifts and how can I express them? How can I develop them more? Ask questions that are opening, and the question, why does this not work? It's not serving you. It's like you have this broad stream that is broadening and broadening of transmissions and energies coming in. And when you ask that question, it's like throwing rocks and boulders into the stream. You kind of blocking your own stream with that kind of approach. So, and it would also be much kinder to yourself in acknowledging what you already, the amazing gifts that you already have and the amazing transmissions that you already have, and you can build on that and ask, how can I expand on that, or would that be a good way for me, or what's the best way for me to express, and just play with it. It's a playful, joyful thing, and it doesn't have to be hard or serious, especially if you're in connection with animals. They have so much joy and simple flow, and if you have a good connection with animals, they can teach you that, because they don't have that brain that we have that's always asking questions and analyzing. So you can go deeper into that energy and learn from how they flow with things, and yeah, and just build on what you have and ask expanding questions there. And when you get into, why is this not working, you can just release that question, and it would be a better question to ask. What would serve me right now? Is that serving me? This question, is that approach serving me? Or if it's not serving you, it's not serving your clients or your work or anything. So yeah,
Thank you.
I think that's what I want. Thank you.
All right, Cindy, feel free.
So Janice, just like you ask the animals what they're thinking, that's what you do with any other realm, okay? So when I tuned into you, okay, yes, you have all knowing, all right? But you're also very clairvoyant. You see the pictures, and you can even ask the angels to step forward so you can fully see them, okay? So the first angel that really wants to work with you is Archangel Michael. He's the one with the sword. And he is requesting that you please ask him before you go to bed, okay? Just one question, whatever you'd like. But
okay,
first
write it down.
First thought back after you
Okay.
ask the question will be his answer. So you're asking a direct question to Archangel Michael. When I teach telepathic communication to my students, this is one of the exercises we do, because as a teacher, I always want to know who is speaking to me from the other side, because I work all the realms. And so the second archangel that actually steps up for you is Archangel Metatron. And the question that he would like you to ask him is, how do you work with animals and archangels?
Okay.
together to help heal whatever families they're in. And then whatever your answer is, just write it down. And like all of us have suggested to you, just trust what you're getting and make it a practice. Write it down and follow the directions. And
Okay, send me the guide.
I'm sorry?
I was joking. You said follow the directions. I said send me the guide.
I just did. Archangel Michael
Okay.
and Archangel Metatron.
Okay.
Because you're very powerful, you know, and it's time for you to step up as a teacher, because it's so easy for you to work with the animals, okay? But it's important that you integrate these higher frequencies that are coming in, especially for 2021 with your gifts, and to own it and to realize just how great you are at what you do. And thank you very much for being on the planet right now. We need you.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Same back at you.
All right. If all the rest of us have gone, Galactic Ashley, since you know her, did you want me to go first or?
Yeah, that's fine. I only have a couple of quick little things to say.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll say so. So one thing is that I get that I've had multiple practitioners tell me I'm sort of ignorant of what I'm doing. Like I just don't realize what I'm doing, and that's totally possible. But so I'm not aware that I talk to guides, and I'm a great practitioner. There's a lot that I do, and so simply I'm not defining what I do in the way other people define things. So I'm in a not knowing of it. And in a way, like my not knowing, maybe I don't get in my own way about it like that. But any attachment to what it ought to be like, what we ought to experience when we are working with someone, to me, it only gets, and certainly for me, it only gets in my way. So I just encourage you to like flow with what's here and deeply appreciate what's here and explore what's here. Other people have said the same thing really in other ways, I think. And yeah, just the beauty of what's here. Like it doesn't have to get defined. Right, I'm letting more people in. This is great. I love that so many people come. I'm going to pin you for just a moment. I saw your eyes a little bit earlier, and so I'm not surprised that you are so connected to animals, as one of the talents that you have is called server. It's about love and intimacy and deep connection. It's not about serving, but about love. And people with server connect with all life so deeply, so nature, animals, as well as people. So I'm so not surprised that part of your gift is through animals. And then also servers are so sensitive to where there's pain and wanting to be with people in that pain, right? I see you smiling, right? So yeah, so there's that. And then another talent that you have, I think, is called scholar. It's about absorbing information to build knowledge and share knowledge. That makes sense. So right, you love to learn. It's just really easy for you to learn. So scholar is often a skeptic. For me, scholar is one of the talents that gets the most in the way with being intuitive, because the scholar's like, I need to understand, it needs to make sense. Like if it doesn't make sense, blah, blah, blah. And so scholars actually grow to be intuitive when they're connected to their heart and their body. And by the way, clear knowing for me, so I'm more claircognizant. I have a lot of scholar, it's claircognizance. And yeah, so clairsentience was said earlier. That's for me, that's about feelings and body awareness, and I have that too. But so I think that sometimes knowing, right, it simply appears and it's not apparent where it's from. So that's just a way of being aware of things. And yeah, your scholar, it's like, it's tricky. Your scholar can really be your ally, and your scholar can catch you up and get you stuck, because if you doubt your knowing. So that's totally the trick of the lessons of scholar. I'll show you, since you like scholar, you like details, I'll show you on a chart. Hold on a moment and I will, let me clear one thing off my screen. And okay, so these are the lessons of the talents, where we grow from the outside in. So it's relaxing into who we are, and when we feel scared or stressed, we come back to the outside. And so scholars right here, they start off trying to learn everything and it's overwhelming. Then they're overly serious. They want to stand back and observe. They think they need certification and things like that in order to be the knower. And then they're willing to jump in and experiment and let it be messy. And it sounds like you've totally been doing that. And then the highest lesson of scholar is the intuitive knower, where they spontaneously know and they don't know why, and they can flow with that. But if they scare themselves and think, how do I really know? Is it right? Like, boom, they come back down here, where it's got to be objective. And, you know, and so we all might have fears come up. I mean, I can have my own upper limit fears of like, oh my gosh, all this is coming through. Like, you know, am I worthy of this is what comes up. And then I can shut myself down, right? So it's able to flow with it and trust it. And there's a gift of discerning, like when is it my stories and when is it what's really here? And for me, that's a practice. Like endlessly, I'm learning to trust myself more and more deeply. And if I go into that questioning myself place, I shut it down. So I just want to encourage you, we all practice in different ways. It looks different for all of us. That you connect with animals is so natural, and that you write this gift of not trusting and is it right? It's just totally part of your lesson pathway.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, great. Let's see. So Galactic Ashley, did you want to go?
Yeah, just really quickly it feels like the way that because there's been so many shifts, the way that you connect is shifting. So that's why it might feel differently, because you're also being forced to connect differently. So let's say you have a meditation practice or some kind of something that you do, whatever meditation is for you, to try and shift in the way that you connect. And then and to also ask, because I know already that you have tons and tons of empathy, both for physical and emotional empathy. I would ask that when you're knowing, that you can ask for the undercurrent of empathy to come in with your knowing. So that way, when the knowing is coming in, you can feel that that knowing is right, so that you can trust it. So it's just about having a conversation between those two, because it's really hard to know if there's no feeling that goes with the knowing. It doesn't mean you have to feel what you're knowing, but you just feel like, yes, I'm connected and this knowing is right. So then you just keep going with that knowing. And then I also put a book in here that's called The Archangel Guide to the Animal World. So you can, it's not really the animal guide to the archangel world, but the title, all the right words are in there, so it might be worth looking at. But I want to second, or I think it was Cindy or Lori, I'm not sure, but basically it was Cindy, yeah, because I started laughing, about the connecting, talking to the other realms like the same way that you do with animals, because it's all unconditional love anyway. So it's the same, even though it might feel different. And I was only laughing because if you ask the archangel what kind of food they like, that's why I was laughing. But so you wouldn't ask those questions, but you would connect with them the same way. And really, you're super super amazing. I've had readings from you before, so sometimes I think this question is crazy, but it's awesome. So I'm glad to see you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here and for asking a question and supporting us with your question and allowing us to share with you. Great. All right, sweet. There was something else that started to come through that let me just see if it'll come back. Oh, I just say I used to be a scientist too, so that only reinforced for me that I had to like know in this plane, you know, what something was. So I don't know what your professional background is, but it could be right, your family teachings or your career background might still enforce, right? So these are just right, these are our opportunities and hurdles, right, to let this go. Yeah.
Can I just say one more thing? The more I'm realizing this, Janice, I think you and Susie need to like hook up somehow, because you guys both have sort of acting background and stuff, and all of the way that
I
you
wasn't gonna say that I was a stand-up comedian.
yeah, so
I crammed a 4-year degree program into 6 for theater. So yeah, I totally get it. Yeah, it helps. It really does. Galactic Ashley was the one who said, you're using your skills. So that's what we get to do, is use our skills.
Yeah, and the animals, the silly ones, come to me.
Of course. And like everybody's, well, yeah, because like Archangel Michael comes to me and we're like, yeah, or we're doing whatever. And there's a book I'm trying to find the author to. It's called Asriel Loves Chocolate and Michael's a Jock. And it's this great book that covers, you know, she went in and talked to all these angels and went into their palaces. And as soon as I find the author's name, I'll finish the entry. But it's an awesome book, because it shows you. Everybody thinks, oh, the angels, they need to have the wings and flutter around. It's like, no, Michael shows up to me sometimes, you know, in the bibbed overalls without a shirt on it, his muscles, and other times he's in a suit. And it's how the energies are most accessible to you. What's going to make you comfortable? So the animals are very comfortable with you. You're comfortable with them. Everybody needs to find their own, oh, what is it? The groove. That's what Galactic Ashley says. You got to find your own groove with your guides. It's really fun, I must say. So I'm going to find the author's name.
Okay,
Post it.
thank you.
And someone was asking about the replay. It's going to go in 2 places. It will be up on our YouTube channel, and it'll also be on our MeWe Fairs page. I just put a few more up on our YouTube channel that I haven't put on the page yet, and it takes me a couple weeks to get them up online. I have to go to a friend's house with faster internet. It is coming. If there's something urgent from your reading today that you want to get to more quickly, I can send you a link to Dropbox. So if someone needs that, just let me know. It's great. And so Janice, your third talent is going to be sage. That's a storyteller, communicator. And so this is part of why they're communicating with you, and that's how it's coming in too. So yeah, humor and play. It's great. Yeah, so those are Susie's talents. She has these too. That's part of the thing. Okay. All right, great. Sweet.
Thank you.
You are welcome. All right, great. Let's see. So Sheila is next. I know Sheila's getting all ready. So Sheila, go ahead and jump in and share. I can't hear you. Let's see if you are unmuted. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. I'm just trying to understand what's happening in a bigger sense. Aside from COVID and all the blocks to connection that are happening, I'm an extrovert by nature. I lost a partner of 35 years about a year and a half ago. He died. And so that's there. But I've been reaching out so much and trying to make connections. You know, I'm yearning for new friends and even a partner. And it's just blocking every way I go, everywhere I go, blocks, blocks, blocks. And I don't know. I'm starting to think, is it me? Is it COVID? Is it just something else altogether? I just don't get it. I've always had a great circle of friends and family and now it's like nothing. No one. I It's so hard to cope. So hard to cope.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. All right. By the way, I just want to share too, you must be a beautiful artist also.
I am. You see all my things. Yes, I am.
Yeah, so I know everyone's going to share. For me, part of the paradox for you is you're introverted and you're extroverted. You're not only extroverted.
That's true. That's true.
And I'm wondering, was your partner extroverted?
No, very introverted. He often said if he was on an island alone the rest of his life, he'd be perfectly content.
Yeah, so you're very extroverted in contrast to him. But
yes.
Not extroverted in terms of the range that people show up.
Right.
Yeah, and sorry, I'm just jumping in and sharing a little bit. But
That's cool.
I'm wondering if I get that your need to be around people and the connection with people is important. And I'm wondering if there's some way that you're running away from something inside and that wanting to connect with other people is a distraction from facing that other thing and being upset that the people aren't there. It's continuing some of that pattern. Yeah. So just some of my initial thoughts. So I'll share more.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's see what other people have to share. And I just want to say you are a beautiful, beautiful artist. I just picked it up so much.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Great. All right, practitioners, if someone else wants to jump. And by the way, Satora, I want to make sure you get in early enough. I know Satora's going to be here just until 4 p.m. Pacific time. So I'll make sure you get in at some point. And yeah, if anyone else really wants to connect with Satora, ask the next question. She will go first. Go ahead, Lori, go ahead.
Okay, so what I'm getting is this was a time, and this is a time for you to really, as Lorelei suggested, turn inward. It's part of your journey. It's getting to know yourself as that soul being. That's where your art comes from. that's the path that you're on, is that artist and creating and bringing that inspiration out into the physical world. And now is the time to sit with that part of yourself, with that true self, and really touch into it and begin to understand, not just in your head, but in that heart space, that you are this divine being, this incredible light that shines out into the world. And a lot of that is presented through your art. And for you right now, it's tuning in and really getting to know that true self and listening to the directions and to the path that your soul is moving you more toward. This being in isolation for all this time partly has served that purpose, really to give you the time and the opportunity to do that and to have that space, to allow yourself the freedom to sit quietly and just listen to that soul as your soul talks with you. Your soul is saying it also is showing up in your dreams. And so to pay attention to those dreams. You may also use your artwork as a way of expressing that and receiving the messages from your soul. Does that make sense?
Yeah, do you think I'm just beating my head on like they say, animals, if there's a wall, they'll go around it. Humans, if there's a wall, we'll beat our head against it 20 times. And I'm just wondering, am I just doing that? You know what I mean? Doing something that's not working.
I think there are moments, yes, from what I'm hearing, those are moments that, yes, that is exactly what you're doing. You're not wanting to hear the messages that are coming through for you at this point. You're getting them pretty clearly and intensely at times, and you're wanting to sidestep them and not listen and not follow through. So what your guides, all the beings of light that are around you are encouraging you to do is to sit quietly, to tune inward and really listen and bring those messages fully so that into you, and listen to them because they're guiding you. You're just not wanting to hear. And they're laughing and saying, yes, stop beating your head against the wall.
There's fear of the sitting.
Yeah.
And the sitting right now is a lot of grief, loss. And yes, there is some running from that.
Yeah.
There is.
Trust that you have the capacity to see the grief and to sit with it and not be overwhelmed or incapacitated by it. It's time to stop running from it, is what they're saying to you. Use your art as a way of expressing those feelings. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Great, thank you. I know Susie's waiting.
Sheila, Lori has said it all. What came to mind to me is like we're talking about the wall and you're just avoiding the wall. This is, okay, there's no deadline on grieving. You get to do it and it's going to come in waves. And it's not bad. It's what we do. We're okay for a while. I mean, my father grieved my mother, God, until he died, and he survived her by 40 years. I'm not saying that's how long you're looking for, but this is a perfect opportunity for you to take that time to sit with yourself and to love yourself and to love what you had. Yeah, there's loads of sadness there, and you can pour it out into your art. And I'm not going to blow sunshine up your skirt about this, but this is a tough job, and you are supported not only by the guides, but by us and these opportunities to connect with people. And whatever love and energy I can send your way, it is yours.
I guess there's that fear, you said about the grief. There's that fear of just sinking in the hole of grief and never getting out of it.
Yes, I understand. And it does seem it does seem like a bottomless pit, but understand that it's not. Your partner is there and he's like, I'm totally fine. I'm here. I'm doing my own thing. And it pains him to see you miss him so much, but you're not alone. He's right there with you. I can feel his hand. It's on your back, like kind of on your low back. So that's a place of support. To allow the emotions to come through and to process them, it's going to be a lot better than letting them sit and fester, because it will then catch you unawares and throw you off balance. You have this time to spend and to pour your heart out in however it does. And you are supported and you will get through it. And you are surrounded by, Kuan Yin comes forward and she says, please have compassion for yourself. Fear is false evidence as reality. The fear that you will always be underwater is not. Allow yourself. This is something Houdini taught people when he was teaching people how to survive submarine accidents. He says, watch where the bubbles go, and that is up, and that is where you will find the water to break through.
You know, you mentioned self-compassion. I was a therapist for 20 years, and I always told my clients self-compassion, self-compassion. And I'm the last person, you know, needing to tell myself that.
Yeah. You get to take your own advice now. And you have the love and support of each person here, all of your guides, and anyone who is feeling grief. We're all here for you. We're all here for each other. That's why we have these events. And that's why we step forward and show our hearts. And you have a lovely heart. And I'm grateful to you for allowing us to see it. But you'll get through it. You're going to make it another day. And you'll be able to find the life that you love, that connection with people in person. It will happen. Not as soon as we all want, because we're human and we're all impatient. But it will. You will be able to reconnect on a physical level with people.
How do I not take, you know, there's the whole pulling in because of COVID. And then there may be issues that are related to me too. You know, how do I discern? How do I just not take it all on like it's me? You know, how do we know? How do I know?
You use the word discernment. If any of the other practitioners have some better words to use, I invite you to jump in. But I sit there and I say, is this mine? And right now you're going to have such a proportion of a lot more of it being yours than being somebody else's. It's going to seem so overwhelming. So I would love to be able to say, pass it off to divine, but sometimes divine alignment and divine timing is just not fast enough. And so you just have to give them what you can and release what you can. But understand you don't have to hold on to it, because if you're so busy holding on to this grief and this pain, your hands are all clenched up and you can't accept other things to come in for you. I have a candle lit and I will continue to have it lit in your name for your heart and for hope.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Now, Satora's going to go next. I want to say just a little bit about discerning. Being with this doesn't mean that you have to be alone. It's discerning why you're reaching out to people. Are you reaching out for a distraction and to avoid? Or are you reaching out heartfully and with more of your rawness and connection? Right? That can be supportive. So discerning that difference.
Say that one more time, would you?
Yeah, so it's, you don't have to be alone. It's, the question is discerning if you're reaching out to connect with people as a distraction, or pining to connect out of distraction, or if you're reaching with your heart in more of a raw, vulnerable place, and then the connection can be supportive. Today you're here in that raw, vulnerable place. Right? So it's being with it and not being alone is fine. And yeah, being with it and not grasping and not holding tight, knowing that your connection with him, you still can have your connection with him and not grasping onto the grief and staying in the grief. Right? And being with the grief at the same time. So I know, Satora, you want to go next. Yeah.
So I have something different that stood out to me. I also do an energy healing called Changing Terra, as I mentioned before, that is touching points at certain points in certain sequences on the
Yeah,
body.
you showed the hugging here. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to give you a self-care thing, flow. They call it flows. We call it flows. The points for the kidneys. The kidneys are connected with fear. They are also connected with our lifetime energy support. And I was wondering, how your energy level been lately?
Terrible. I also have some illnesses too, that affect it for sure, but it's not good.
So that stood out very strongly to me. So I want to show you that flow for the kidney that will support you moving through fear. It will support your actual physical kidney. Also drink a lot of water.
I am.
And it will over time help you with your energy level too. So one hand goes on the coccyx.
That's where I have a lot of my medical problems into my lower spine.
So just one hand on the coccyx, and then the other hand, either on the right side or the left side, doesn't matter. It's on the neck. When you, from your earlobe, you go in the straight line towards your neck and just touch it there, like here.
The back, or not quite?
The side of the neck.
Oh, okay.
On the muscle here.
Okay.
Not in the middle of where the spine is, but more on the outside here.
Okay.
About on at the height of where
at the ear. Okay.
Yeah. So hold that for a while, like maybe 30 seconds is recommended, and then leave the hand on the coccyx, and then the hand that was on the neck that goes right in the
center of the breastbone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right here.
Okay.
So usually the self-care flows are only, holding 2 points, but this one has 3. So that. And then another thing is we can also hold the fingers. So for fear, the index finger is good to hold. Either side, both sides. And for grief, the ring finger. Isn't that interesting? Ring finger. Very
yeah.
So you can hold those anytime. And yeah, I recommend that you do that every day, especially your kidneys, because that came out really strong. And I also want to say that that you can connect, as Susie said, and everybody else, You can connect with him. This is also an opportunity to kind of go through the veil that, as we talk to angels and we do all these channelings and talk to animals, so you can communicate with your partner. He's there, and the grief is real because he's physically not there. And at the same time, the more you open up and allow that grief to come out of your body, the more you will be able to connect in a way that is possible to connect with him now being in the unseen, him now being whatever, not material, but he's still there and still loving you. And you can find and play with ways to connect with him. Maybe writing comes to mind, or draw with him, or just invite him to be there and give you signs of his presence if that's something you want to do. Okay, so that's what I have to add. And thank you, Susie, for your wonderful contribution.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you, Satora. All right, Galactic Ashley.
Sheila, I just wanted to check in. Are you full of information? I'll keep it short, but
Heck
if you're
no, I can take all comers.
okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay, so just a couple of things to address the very first part of your question. There is a divine timing and a divine order to what is happening in the collective in general. There's a lot of people that are actually moving in their physical environment. So at some point in the later future, it is possible that someone actually moves into your physical environment when you are actually ready to have a relationship. So I see that down the road. So don't worry about that. And the other thing, the bigger concern that I heard you asking was about like what's yours and what's not yours. Your beings showed me that you're sort of in this bubble. So what is yours, what you are feeling is yours. And so it's okay. So and when you're processing what is yours, you are contributing to the collective. So I feel like, and you can reset an intention to not feel the collective stuff that's happening, if that makes you feel better. But I feel like you're sort of being placed in this protective bubble, which is another reason as to why a lot of the humans, it feels like, have shifted out of your life. I was getting that you like to connect similar in the way that I do, and maybe you're shifting more into this. I like to connect through conversation, and in a very deep way, which makes it actually, I think, very hard to actually be married to me, depending on what type of person you are, because that's like, I'm just deep all of the time. I don't have a middle, there's no middle ground. So when that happens, it means that you have to have friends that will also do that with you, that want to connect that deeply in conversation. So I feel like you're shifting into that. So there's a shifting of friendships that are happening. So allowing the old friends to go, and so that you can have new friends to come in. And the very, very, very first thing, I know this all feels out of order, but the very, very, very first thing that I heard was that you are not a cosmic orphan, and that you have not been abandoned. And so the death of your spouse is also triggering stuff from childhood, and even at a bigger level, the cosmic realm. And I've had a lot of emotions around this, feeling in a lot of ways abandoned, kind of, in a way. And so when I heard I was not a cosmic orphan, and when I had a lot of healing when I connected with my galactic family, because it was a joint decision that my family and I made to send me to this universe in the first place. And the first thing that my mom had said was, we didn't want you to go, but we all decided that it was good for you to go, or that whatever, it doesn't matter. So understand that when you're working through the grief of your husband, that this is expanding out into other lifetimes, and any sort of harbored childhood trauma, if a parent left or felt absent, that many forms of that grief are sort of coming up for you. So know that when you're going through this, you are massively healing more than the loss of your spouse, from the physical. So to remember that, because that's really big. And the other thing is, I don't know if there's a history of depression in
Oh,
your
absolutely,
right.
absolutely.
So to remind yourself and your body that you are not clinically depressed, that this is grief. And so it's safe to go into these territories, because you know that you are sad and you are upset and you are grieving because of your spouse. It's not randomly just falling out of the sky. And so there's nothing psychologically wrong with you. And I think it's really important for those of us that have history of depression or any kind of psychological issues in our family line to remind us that we are not that this is something else. And so that's really important, that you're not going to go into the well, like what Susie said, and not be able to get out of the well. And that you can find groups of people like to connect with, but still have your own space if you want to set the intention to join a group, especially of creative people that are willing to go deep and to explore things creatively. I also don't know if you sell your artwork, but it's okay to give yourself permission to experience your art without the pressure of selling it. So give yourself that time over like the next month or month and a half to not put pressure on selling, to make something for yourself through and from your emotions. And whether you want to destroy those later is up to you, or celebrate them, is up to you. So I also did see like a vision. This is not a vision. I saw the Kool-Aid guy busting through the wall. So there is a point where like you do get on the other side of this. And so to remember that. Now when that happens, I don't know, but that you are like, this isn't easy. And Susie sent you a lot of healing, and we're all sending you a lot of healing, but there is light at the other end of the tunnel. You will bust through the walls, and there's just a lot of healing that's happening, and you're connecting on a very, very deep level. So don't lose sight of that either.
Great. Thanks, Galactic Ashley. Did you want to say something, Sheila?
No, I'm just thanking her.
Yeah, great. I know Cindy still wants to share, but Satora is going to be taking off. So I wanted Satora to, if you want to share something else, Satora, go ahead. And I want you to be able to share your contact info again, too.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to add one more thing. If you choose to try to connect with your partner in ways, by opening up to that, in that movement, the first thing that might come out is the grief. By opening up, you might open up yourself to the grief, but that's a good thing, because a first reaction might be to shut down, like,
Yeah.
oh, that hurts, oh, that's bad. But it's not. It's a natural process that by opening up to connect with him, this is what's in the way, and it wants to come out and arise, and as much as you can lovingly just acknowledge that and let it flow through you, rather than shutting down.
And Satora, if you want to share your contact info, if you're leaving soon, I know you were going to take off soon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my contact info is freesatora@gmail.com. It's the word free, FREE, and then my name, SATORA, @gmail.com. And I have
It's great. And I'll just say, and you have an event special. It's between 55 to 70 an hour. That's 30% off your regular pricing for the next 7 days. And the code is Inner Light.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks for being with us, Satora. Yeah, stay on as long as you want to. I just know you're going to go soon.
Thanks.
Great. All right, Cindy.
Okay, Sheila, I'm going to fast forward
Okay.
some opportunities that your guides want you to know. Okay. First of all, I know that grief is not easy, but you are a master. Okay. And what I love is all that you're learning about this grief, you're going to be able to put in the form of, they're calling it grief containers that you make with your art that enables and empower other people as they go through their own grieving process. That you're going to find that you're going to be tapping into and calling to you all the right people at all the right time. And you just say, I'm ready. That's all that, when you're ready, that's what, and then you're going to help people see that they are enough and that you're enough and that you're totally worthy. So all that other stuff is gone. And your guides want you to simplify your life a little bit. Okay, so simplify your studio a little bit, like change it up, move some of the stuff around so it's new. Okay, for 2021. Okay. Inside you, you're super sensitive. You pick up on everything, and you're an excellent writer. Oh my God, you're an
Yes, I
excellent
am.
writer.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, and your words heal. Okay. And so you're going to be able to really be an inspiration to other people as they experience their own grief. So think of yourself as a catalyst, okay, an artist, and someone that just has so much compassion for life, And then the nature kingdom wants you to spend more time outside. Two plants that come up for you are ginger and chamomile. However, you
I
like.
drink, I drink those teas every day. I mean, all
Good,
day. All day I drink them. All day
good,
long.
good. You can also use the essential oil.
I
Okay.
do that as well.
Okay, good. And chamomile's like, it's me, chamomile. Okay. And then don't forget to encourage people to do vision boards. Okay. I know they're kind of old, but you know what? Sometimes when we are overcome by emotion, doing just a 5x7 vision board on whatever we love is a mirror to the soul and will really help you to see where you're going for 2021. And you're just bursting with creativity. I know your partner used to always inspire you, and pat you on the back. Yeah. Well, behind you right now are all your grandmothers. Okay. And you are stepping forward into that great circle of wisdom for humanity. So again, I know it seems like so heavy right now, but you're going to be the master of what's happening and the teacher. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. I know I shared a little bit as we went along. So, yeah, just the biggest message for me is just you valuing you.
I know that's the challenge right now, boy. Uh, uh, Especially having had three very close friends drop the ball, in the last little year or two. So, you know, that's hard. That's so hard.
Yeah, and someone said something about letting some old relationships go so there's space for new ones to
Yes.
come in, and there's some way that they aren't comfortable with who you are right now and how you're being,
Oh,
and there's more of you that's here, and so allowing that space for others to be here, and yeah, reaching out from that place of true connection, like you being available in that raw way seems like, yeah, good people are here, good people are coming. Yeah, yeah, beautiful. All right.
thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. All right, great. Thank you so much for letting us share with you.
You are all awesome. Awesome. Is all of your information available when this chat goes away?
You can save the chat. So it is up and in the chat, and we're also online. I'll put the link to the Facebook event too. Right now, I'm just the link for the event is in this right here. So we're all posted on the web on the Facebook event, and you can save the chat. Are you familiar with doing that? If
No, how do
you
you
go
do?
inside the chat, on the right side, there should be 3 little dots.
Yes,
Click
more.
the 3 little dots and then save chat is one of the options. And I know for me on my Mac, it saves under documents. It's wherever your Zoom files will store. So did you see that? And you can do save chat?
Mine's not, there's no save chat. It's just a bunch of icons. Dislike,
Oh, on
like.
the so let's see. Do you have the chat open on the right side of your
Yes,
screen?
yes.
So inside chat, it should say there's a little blue toggle where you can choose who you write to, and then mine says file. And then
Yes,
to the right of that, there are 3 dots. Do you have 3 dots?
Oh, okay. Got it. Save chat.
Save
Got
chat.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If anyone else wants to save the chat too, it saves it in the moment. So if there's more that's written that you want to save, you have to save it again at the end.
Okay. Thank you.
Great, great. Well, we have space for one more question if someone else would like to ask a question of us. I know Satora to take off, but there are 5 of us that are here. So yeah. And we may have had 4 questions today. That may be just what's here. Yeah, and you can ask us questions on anything. As you've seen, we can address all kinds of different topics. Great. And while we're waiting, if anyone has any general questions about just how we work or anything like that, it's great. We can.
Yeah, do you do this every month or every whatever?
I'll put some other things in the chat. So we have, there's no regular schedule. We have usually 2 or 3 fairs a month right now. And then we've probably got 3 or so panels. I'm going to go read off the ones I've got on Facebook. Let's see. So the next one is Saturday, December 26th at 5:30 Pacific time. We have crystal healing. And I think we have 7 or 8 practitioners on that one. And then we'll have a fair. So at a fair, we have about 15, 16 practitioners. We do a small version of this for free for the first hour. We introduce ourselves and then answer questions from the audience for free. And then we split up in breakout rooms. We offer lots of free talks. And there are many of them recorded on YouTube also. I'll go grab the YouTube link so you can see some past events, past panels, and then past fairs. The next panel is Energy Forecast for the New Year. So that's at 6 p.m. on January 2. We've got a panel coming up on mediumship, connecting with lost loved ones on January 6th, another fair on January 9, and then a panel, Heal Your Inner Child, coming up on January 11. A panel on spiritual bypassing, kind of looking at how we might be spiritual bypassing and we don't realize, on January 16. You know, and part of that's going to be, I think, educating people on what spiritual bypassing is. It's, yeah. And then on January 22, we've got energetic and channeling divination. So we had a panel a couple weeks ago on divination with physical objects. And then we'll do energetic divination. Yeah, and then another fair. And then we'll have 2 panels on love. So there'll be one love, past, present, future. And another one, and that's January 30th. And then on February 12th, we'll have Lunar New Year, which is the Lunar New Year, and New Love. And those are all the, and I've got more. Let's see, let me go. I'll tell you what other things are scheduled that aren't up on Facebook yet. I just scheduled more today, I think. Let's see, so we've got a panel on sound healing is most likely going to be on Friday, February 19. And then there'll be a fair on February 20. And then we'll have a panel on medical intuition on Saturday, February 27. And maybe that's it so far. I think maybe I haven't written another one in. I was looking at another one too. Yeah, all kinds of things coming up.
Anything coming up for special needs kids? I know you guys did something like that before.
Yeah, so and we take requests. So we haven't done, and we're calling them special kids now. I loved in the last panel someone brought up that about how they're special. But and I really like everyone is special and appreciating what's special about them. We haven't had anything planned for kids, and we could look at doing something for kids again. Was that you, Galactic Ashley, that asked, or who said that? Was one of the participants asked that?
No, Pam.
Pamela? Okay. Yeah. No, we can do something. Do you want to say more about what it is you'd love for us to cover?
Well, I have a son on the autism spectrum. Many of you, especially Susie, has helped me before with my son, Stevie.
Did you
Yeah.
listen? Were you at the panel that we did last time?
I missed it. He had some therapy going on that day and I missed it. And I know you sent me the recording, but I couldn't access it.
Okay, great. I'm going to go grab the YouTube site and I'll see if I can find that recording in particular. So I'll go look for that one and then we can look at doing something else again.
Okay, great.
And I'm just going to have myself on mute for a moment because I think it comes up with like things playing. So if someone else wants to share something for a moment, or I'll be right back.
I have something to share. Mahana, come here. So this is Mahana. She has
Hi,
a message.
Mahana.
So Mahana, actually her name means dawn, dusk, or light. So she is reminding us that because so what I love about indigenous languages are that light can mean different things and it depends on context, and so that's really the message, right? And so we can be experiencing a dawn, we can be experiencing a sunset, we can be experiencing bright light. So in Tahitian, Mahana Piti is Tuesday because it's day and then the second day of the week. So this is what I love about language, and what she's reminding me and us right now is that light is showing up in a variety of ways for us depending on where we are on our journey. And so it can be definitely a setting of the sun or a sunrise, and so to sort of tune in and find sort of where that light is and where you're at. But the light is always present, and so when we're flowing with language, it's and we allow it to be present, how it's showing up for us, just to remember that. So that's Mahana's message.
Great. And I put the link in the chat to our YouTube channel and then also to that particular video. So you should be able to go watch the whole video there. For the one that we did on special kids, energy healing and special kids is what we did. Great. And it looks like
Okay. Oh, I can find that. Okay, I see the I went into the link, so it had all of your videos. So just look up about what.
And I searched the one for special kids right underneath it. So in the chat, there's our channel, and then in the chat I put in right underneath is the one for special kids.
Okay, let's see.
See it? It's up just a few now. A few people, we've said a few things, but.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, see if it comes up for you. And I know Ruby's going to be available with a question in just a moment.
Oh, okay. Yes. Thank you. Got it.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, great. Great. Yeah, and Ruby, let me know if you're having any trouble paying, and if you need to, we can work with your question now and then pay at the end. It's fine. Yeah, thanks everyone for being here. I think we just had someone else join us. This is our MeWe Awakening panel on finding your light for Solstice. Tomorrow at, I think it's around 10 a.m. Out here Pacific time is Solstice. Maybe someone knows exactly when the moment is. Yeah.
Okay, I think I sent it.
Okay, great. Yeah, let me refresh and yeah, go ahead and I'll check for everything. All
okay.
Right.
Well, hi everyone. I have been coming here a lot the last few days, so I'm feeling a little bit like shy that I keep asking questions. But what is coming up today is I have a wonderful spirit guide that I've connected with that I love, and I feel her all the time. And her name is White Hawk, and she has big, beautiful rainbow wings. And she particularly helps with my inner children and all sorts of things. I feel really connected to her, but there's this other energy. I think it's from my ancestors on my dad's maternal side. My great grandmother, I'm named after her, Ruby, and her mother was named Hattie Lewis. and I don't know very much about her except for that she came from the Choctaw lineage in Oklahoma and Texas area. And a good teacher of mine, like several years ago, was telling me that when she was working with me, that she kept seeing this like corn mother goddess trying to get my attention and talk to me and tell me something. And as I've been doing my paintings and my artwork recently, it's helping me to bring in energies. And I'm just kind of wondering if there's any kind of general information that any of you have about this particular line of or lineage of information that I'm being asked to like hear, and I can't quite get it. So I'm just curious about that.
Great, thanks for your question. Yeah, as everyone's tapping in. Great.
So what I'm hearing is a lot of the message has to do with being a healer and healing in many different ways. You come from a long line of healers, and as a soul, you're bringing in memory of the different lives you've had, and you have been medicine woman. So you've worked with all kinds of herbs and many modalities of healing. And now you're being gently pushed, if you will, to really remember that and to start exploring that more and making it more conscious for yourself. And if you're not involved in any of the healing modalities, it's something that maybe you need to work toward. Find the one that fits for you, that sort of calls you, if you will. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, in fact, I am involved with a lot of healing modalities. And when Lorelai was saying about the student person, the like mentality that really likes to be certified, I have like 4 different certifications, but it's this corn mother one that's like, I'm like, oh, how do I get certified on that? Right? Like, because it's really from far back, and I don't know. I'm like, what you're saying makes a lot of sense about like, yeah.
You don't need certification. You simply need to start doing.
Right.
Okay, Susie, take it.
I'm sorry, I used my outside face. I'm sorry about that.
Susie, we're having trouble hearing you a little bit.
Because of that.
Okay.
Okay. As soon as Ruby is, I struggle with that whole certification thing myself. But as soon as you said, how can I get certified in that? I threw my pen. I'm sorry. I was just like, oh girl, you don't need certification. Which Laura said. And so, but Corn Mother is asking you to, what is she asking you to do? Corn Mother is connected with the earth and asking you to dig deep, not in the earth, but within yourself, to pull forward. You have lifetimes of healers, you have lifetimes of growth, you have lifetimes that are being laid out in front of you that you are not only healing, but you are learning from, and you can connect them. Okay, so what I'm seeing is that you really want to connect all the dots. And if we connect the dots the way humans do, it's going to be really angular and all like that. And Corn Mother says, no, it flows. It's as the water when it comes from the sky and goes through the rows of crops, and it just goes however it needs to, path of least resistance. But even then, water can reshape a rock. So she's asking you, what are you asking her to do? She's asking you to flow with the creative energy you are experiencing. And if you feel like painting right now, and then, oh, I'm kind of over that, and go and work in a garden or go talk to an animal or go bake or whatever. You're following energy. And as you go, you will become accustomed to a variety of expressions. What she said, I just got in the way, so I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. But to flow with it, there is water, and you are a culmination of all of the elements of water, of fire, of wind, air, and earth. You are a culmination of those, and as you join together, your spirit blossoms. So take time to sit with her and talk to her. It's easy to ask us to give you the messages, but as you can see with me, I get all kinds of blah, 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 and kind of jumbled. So we're going to cut out the middleman and have you talk directly to her. Friendly. You bring friendly in on there.
Okay.
And friendly will definitely, friendly's like jumping around going, yeah, I can help. I can help. Let me help. Let me help. But you are tapping into a deeply rooted ancestral line that goes so far back into healing, into the indigenous and the first people cultures. And you are at this point bringing in a whole lot of different, they're like acupuncture points of your lifetimes are all coming together into this central location so that you can manifest some amazing abilities. And it's not a question of when you're ready, because they're all saying, don't dawdle. This is a good thing to do. Yeah, the phrase I actually was going to say was "Don't dig around," but we're being recorded, so I just can't speak that way. Sorry, Lorelei.
That
But
works for me.
yeah, but this is the time, and you are ready. Trust that you are ready for this growth. And like the water, you're going to flow with the growth and go, oh, cool, I didn't know I can do that. Oh, cool, let's try this. And so this is a great time of really fast growth of in different directions that you didn't think of, but it's all going to be cohesive at some point because you're going to bring it all together and make it manifest as a single unit so that you can focus.
Great.
Okay.
Thank
Cool.
you so much, Susie.
Sure.
I know Cindy's in line. Cindy?
Okay, so here we go. I just want to remind you that Corn Mother is asking you to call forth your medicine wheel and your medicine circle, and to call forth each of the spokes that make up that wheel. And they consist of many of the communities that you already know about, and to welcome the plant world to work with you, and plant medicine, yes. To work with the mineral kingdom, especially, is calling you. And take time to learn the lessons of each of these spokes, because they form the great medicine wheel that you represent, that your ancestors represent. Yeah. And it's your time. It's the time to spin the wheel and to receive. Yes. And then to teach, to paint the circle, perhaps, or paint the wheel so other people can learn from you. Yeah. And don't forget to include the star people, the star tribes of your lineage.
Thank you.
Ho.
Ho.
Great. Galactic Ashley?
Yeah, don't forget the star tribes. If you would like a certification, we can hereby certify you today by the power of the MeWe panel that you are officially certified in Corn Mother Goddess and that you have received your certification, and you can now write this down somewhere. And by the Galactic Councils that are also here. but in all seriousness, what I did, that was very serious, but what I did get is that you are already certified by your bloodlines, and your ancestors are surrounding you. And what was coming through when Cindy was talking is actually to remember that these indigenous beings were very, very connected to the star tribes. It's what all of these stargates, they were the original stargate guardians of the actual physical places that were on Earth. Um, and that those beings were actually, they literally portaled in and were present, like physically. So imagine like yearly having to wait to have your questions answered. You didn't wait, but to see their physical presence, right? And that for like a really short period of time. So these are like very serious alignments that they talk about, but it doesn't mean that you have to wait for those alignments to happen, because we're in a different kind of space. But what I'm getting is that by blood you are certified, and now you just have the opportunity to remember. So what also came through is that these indigenous connections that you have to these American tribes go into Central and South America too. So
Yeah.
don't forget that part. And the goddess that came up, and forgive my pronunciation, is the Chico Mecoro, which is an Aztec corn goddess, that is also known as the Seven Serpents. And so we talked, I think, before about there's a dragon connection. And so serpents frequently show up when there's a dragon connection, but remembering that they are the like the grounded ones, right? And so when you talk about the flying serpents, right, because this can all transform in the Quetzalcoatl one of in Guatemala, is that then they become the guardians of both the groundedness and of the air. And so this is part of one of your gifts, is that you understand both in your blood and in the shamanic work that you do, that you understand this earthliness. And so it's okay to transition into looking from other perspectives and bringing in the galactic realm, or the flying serpent, or to connect with the dragon that is also very grounded, but also of the sky, or the other galactic star-y realms. And then there's that book, The Bird Tribes
Right.
by, okay, I'm mentioning that again.
Okay. And then did you get my email the other night? Because I still want you to give me I'll send it to you personally.
Okay.
So I want you to send me about your January 11th class.
Okay. Yep. The art and creativity one. Yes. Perfect.
Thank you.
Lori? Or you're muted. Okay.
Yeah, I already went. I gave her.
Sorry. Okay. My mistake. Is there anyone left, or is it just me? It's just me. All right. Cool. Let me. Yeah. Well, it's so great. You heard about Scholar before, and so that scholars totally like pause and wait and like think that they need more, that they need to know more. And scholars learn best by jumping in and getting messy and being in it. And the other thing is that you and your I can't quite see your eyes, but I think that you might have another talent that's called artisan. Yeah, go ahead. You further back. I think you have another talent that's called artisan. It's about freedom, creativity, pleasure, and energy. So artisans are the ones that are exploring new territory, so exploring out beyond what's known and bringing new ideas back, new experiences back in. So by studying what everyone else has done, you're not allowing yourself to access your greatest gift, which is doing it in some new way. And I think everyone, there's the unique energy of whatever it is that comes through each of us, and in particular having artisan. So exploring some new path. And no pressure that it has to be something that's so unique. Scholar is synthesizing what's known, but really letting yourself play, right? Doing whatever is so fun and enjoyable. And you can call them experiments, right? Use scholar language, like experimenting, right? You can say like, I'm making up, like, I don't know, and just let yourself find out and see like what resonates with whoever you're sharing with, right? You know, right, energy, right? So you have sensitivity to energy too, right? That's part of what you yeah, and like this letting some new way, whatever this is that's coming through you. It's I have more of the sense of it's great. You were taking off your glasses earlier. So I can't see much of anything when I have my glasses off. And there's you seem to I have images that are much more vague when I connect in with your energy. So there's something that's more like broad, like like lighter, looser. I don't know what the right words are, but of watercolor, something like that. It's a broader, like they're broader strokes of what you're doing. It's just broad, but it's got this blurry and not like the precision is not, to me, is like not the thing that's yours. It's much more. Yeah, I think you know where I'm going. I just don't have the right words for it. Yeah, so not focusing on trying to get something just right really is going against where I think your gifts are. Your gifts are more subtle and more spacious and more, subtle in some ways, like invisible to some people. It's much, yeah. If that's like, so
Yeah,
you're
that makes
like
sense.
all around that not everyone is picking up on, and you're having an impact that a lot of people don't sense, don't see.
Cool, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, sweet. All righty. Well, practitioners, yeah, if there's anything else left, go ahead and jump in. And yeah, I'll put the notes in the chat again about what's coming. I unfortunately did not put spacers between them, so they're still a little clogged, but you get the idea that there are lots of things happening. And I'll put the links for the recording too, if you want to be on our email list. Yeah, so at the MeWeFairs.com website, you can get on the email list. And I got motivated from this panel. I've kind of started to play with it a little, but I'd like landed it today. I'm going to organize a page on our website of all of our past panels that we have up on YouTube in categories. So you can go back and get to all the past panels and watch things. So yeah, when you all have access to things and just the library of everything that we're putting together. So yeah. So thank you so much, everyone, for supporting us with your questions and allowing us to share with you, and everyone for being here in the space, and practitioners for dancing together. It's been lovely. Great. All right. Well, yeah, thank you so much, everyone. We look forward to being with you again. Yeah, so MeWeFairs.com. Oh, practitioners, do you want to go through and just share for the recording too? Just go ahead, share your name, your modalities, and your contact info. Go ahead. Do you want to do that? Whoever wants to, just go ahead and jump in.
Oh, sure. Lori Hewitt, I do soul path readings, and the easiest way to reach me is probably my email, my spiritualsojourn@gmail.com.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm Susie Goins with Blue Lightning Healing. I'm a channel, energy healer, all kinds of things. I have a podcast under the name of Blue Lightning Healing Meditations. The best way to get a hold of me is through my email at susiepgoins@gmail.com. Thanks so much for a great day.
Hi, I'm Cindy McGonigal, and I'm a psychic medium, palmist, and animal communicator. I've had a great time tonight. Thank you so much. You can look at my YouTube channel at Cindy McGonigal or my website, cindymcgonigal.com.
I will go for it. So I'm Galactic Ashley, and this is Mahana, and Mahana means light, and so she's reminding us again about our own light and dawn and however it shows up for us. I channel divine guidance for star seeds, connecting them to their star families and galactic lineages. I use light, language, frequencies, and work with your cosmic connections to facilitate high frequency healing transmissions and encoded activations. And this is my channeling partner. And you can get a hold of us at galacticashley.com.
Great. And Satora Oswald was with us earlier, and she's the one that was sharing the Terra approach to trauma resolution and healing. And you can find her at freesatora@gmail.com. That's FREESATORA@gmail.com. I'm Lorelei Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and body psychology coach. You can find me at loreleiShimayo.com. That's LAURELISHIMAYO. And you can find out more about all of our events at MeWeFairs.com. That's MEWEFAIRS.com. Thank you so much, everyone.